And really thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Prasun. No, never a problem for my alumni, and I'm very proud to be an alumni of this esteemed institution. And very good evening to all those who have joined this conversation. I know it is tough for you all also on a Sunday to do this, but unfortunately, I could not. Kamini spoke to me in the morning, but we have this is the currently the annual business plan season, because the next financial year starts
Yes,
from next
yes,
March.
March.
So we have to close everything, and my presentation to the MD is day after tomorrow. So we have a strict guideline that you have to circulate the presentation 48 hours before. So school college से कम नहीं है. So entire night and till like 4 o'clock, 4:30 I sent out my pack. That's why I said I will give time at 5, but not a problem at all. Tell me.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Even 20 minutes of yours is like a jackpot for us, to be honest. Uh, so because we could not take so much time of yours, let's just start with the interaction again. So let me just introduce myself. I'm Prasun Sarote. I'm a third year mechanical undergraduate at National Institute of Technology, Patna. So, ma'am, I wanted to know what led you to pursue electrical engineering from National Institute of Technology, Patna, then Bihar College of Engineering, because earlier the norms were a little, societal norms were a little different because girls in engineering didn't go very much hand to hand. So just please tell us about your college journey and your college days. It will be a delight to hear from
So
us.
yeah, so actually it started much back before college, because right from the beginning I was very determined that I will do something different. So since childhood I was never interested in generally what girls do, play dolls and things like that. But I don't want to be stereotyped. I did everything, but I was very determined to kind of showcase my potential in the corporate world. So, and I come from a background of a family of academicians, and my father was in the Bihar Public Service Commission. So I was brought up in Patna, born and brought up in Patna, and I did my schooling from St. Joseph's Convent, Patna, and then my plus two from Science College. And during that time, I thought to myself that I must do, physics was of interest to me. So I thought I must do electrical engineering. In fact, when I was getting some other branch, I said, no, I will, kind of wait, and I will not do other branch, and I will do only electrical engineering. So, it was kind of a dream come true. And my aunt was, my aunt used to stay with us. She was visually challenged, but she did her PhD. She was a doctorate, and she was the principal of the Women's Training College, the B.Ed college, which is in front of Magad Mahila College. She was the principal for 10 years, and she was the member of Senate. So she, from her we got this, that nothing is impossible when you kind of put your mind, heart, soul, and sweat to it. And hence, my what I want to say is that my love towards this engineering field was started at a very early age. I will be very thankful to my parents, because you need a lot of support, and you are right. At that point in time, I'm saying 30 years back. So when I joined college 34 years back, very few girls used to do engineering. It had just started. The movement had just started, and BC, then NIT, and then BC had just started taking in girls from other states and other places other than Patna, because Patna was the capital. So generally they used to take girls from Patna, but they had taken other girls. So my parents, I was good in English. I did extremely well in plus two and ICSE. So somebody said English padha do, but my parents said if she wants to do engineering, then let her do engineering. So
Right.
that's how
Ma'am,
I did
this
engineering.
this also because I read the article published by the newspaper, the local newspaper in Jharkhand, where you said something like for a girl in especially in those days to pursue engineering and education, especially the support from her family is very important. And that is why even I agree that the support from the parents are really, and especially in those days, it is really a factor to be, considered for women to at least succeed.
Absolutely, because in my house, we are two sisters. My parents never really, gender was not a factor at all. I mean,
Hmm.
if you want to study this, please study. You should be capable. You should get through competition, because I got through the competitive examination. That was a all Bihar joint entrance examination. You get through competition and you do whatever you want. So it's not, there is no bar. So that is definitely, the support. I mean, many people, many girls may not want to do engineering. They want to do something else, whatever, because there are so many fields now. I think the support from the parents at the first stage is the crucial point when the children can, kind of forge ahead.
Right, ma'am. Thank you very much. The next question will be asked by Surbhi Singh. She is also a member of the alumni cell team.
I
Good evening,
should be.
respected ma'am. Good evening, respected ma'am. We are very glad to have you here. I'm Surbhi Singh, second year undergraduate from Computer Science Engineering Department. Ma'am, I want to ask you that there must be various problems that you must have faced while joining the engineering college back then. And how did you come about facing and managing those problems? Because, especially because there were very few female candidates at that time. And did the society restrict you, or did you face some problems while joining an engineering college at that time?
So I really didn't face any problems as such in joining engineering college. Yes, it was a culture. There was a culture difference because I came from a girls' convent, and then I came into plus two, which was science college, which is a huge institution. And that time, it was Bihar Intermediate Board, and I did that from science college, which was co-ed, and then engineering college. So it was generally a culture uh, change for me. College did not pose really any difficulty. In fact, I would say that all the professors actually went out of their way to help the girls, because there were more women. See, in civil there was only one girl. In mechanical there was only one girl. Electrical had, I think, six, seven, and electronics had only one boy. So there were 10, 11, 9 or 10 girls and one boy. So they made it a point that the girls are, kind of taken care of, and they used to. Professor Santosh Kumar, he is my revered guru. He used to chaperone us like anything. He used to take us for this inter-school music competitions and inter-school debate competitions and things like that. So I still, bow my head. All the very good professors. So actually, college was not a problem at all. What was problem is, at that point in time, the boys who used to come in, that awareness was not there. Like nowadays, there is a push towards diversity, and people are aware of it. In house also, a daughter and a son, they're all equal to parents. The
Yes.
daughter may be doing much better than the son in many cases. It is there, but they came from such a society where it was a little difficult for them to kind of come in and study together. So, but I would say that they were very, very respectful. There were issues, and we used to, like, stick to our routine and do classes, go back to either hostel or day scholars, we'll go back to home, and mix only during classes. And the free mixing part was very less at that point in time. We used to be very friendly. We used to laugh with them. We used to talk with them, but that was more towards the end, third year, fourth
Hmm.
year. Initially, there was, like, we used to be separate, and they used to be separate. I still remember, if the professor has not entered the class, the girls used to stand outside with their note copies, and the boys all used to be inside the class. And when the professor came in, then we used to go along with the professor and sit in the class. But I think, we had a 25th year reunion in 2015. So we met all of them. They've all grown to be very fine gentlemen and very fine leaders. All of them are GMs, AGMs in public sectors, and they're doing very well. And we look back and think that had we been a little ahead in the number of years, maybe we would have had a very good friendship. So, it was a mix of both, and we used to get a lot of help from the boys also. So if somebody has said something to one of the girls, the entire boys used to gang around and kind of protect the girls.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So it means that yes, the environment was quite different from what it is today, but yes, what the environment you get, the response from others were great. So that's quite
Yeah,
manageable, I
environment
guess.
environment was definitely different from what it is today. I mean, I have a son. Son is just completed his engineering, so I see the way he kind of mixes. There is no difference between a boy and a girl because they've studied in
That's true.
co-education right from the beginning. Y'all. I mean, to you, a girl classmate or a boy classmate hardly makes any difference. But at that point in time, it was there. But I think still we managed, you know.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am, now Archana will be joining us.
I
Shibam,
think
sorry.
Shivam.
Shibam, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi,
Myself
Shivam.
Shivam Tyagi,
Yeah.
EC undergrad at NIT Patna. So, ma'am, as you have been a part of Tata Steel for like 30 years or now, would you please share your journey at NIT at Tata Steel? Because we all know you must have faced some kind of hardships. So, I would like
Yeah.
you to.
So Tata Steel was a very, very, esteemed company at that point in time, which used to come to the campus. And to get a job in Tata Steel was considered to be really, really good. So when I got through Tata Steel, it was really very, very big. I felt very proud, and all my reverence to all my professors, Professor U.S. Priyar. I don't know whether he's still there or not, or he's superannuated. Then, all the professors who are there, Professor D.V. Chakravarti, he's no more, Professor Santosh Kumar, all my teachers. So, but coming to Tata Steel, again, it's a manufacturing industry, you know, and at that point in time, there were very, very few girls, and that too nobody was on the shop floor. They were either in computer science, or they were in R&D, or they were in technical training and these kind of departments. So initially it was the journey was tough, but again, I have been blessed with extremely knowledgeable superiors, colleagues, and of course teammates, subordinates. Whichever department I've moved, and I've moved to various departments, and I've learned a lot from them. So Tata Steel is an institution which actually is an equal opportunity employer. If you want to do something, you are free to do it. You're free to experiment. You're free to fail. You're free to succeed. It is upon the person. When you join a company, you have to forget that you are a woman. You cannot expect anything different than what Shivam will get, or what my counterpart male will get. Okay, I have joined. It is my choice that I've joined Tata Steel. I have got another company also, another job offer, Engineers India Limited, which is a public sector organization, which used to have 5 days a week work week at that point in time. Tata Steel used to have 6 days work week. But still, I chose to work for Tata Steel because that fascinated me. The manufacturing industry actually fascinated me. And I got absorbed in projects, engineering and projects, so that I could do electrical projects inside the work. So sitting in an office, but I got chance to work for, commission motors, transformers, and all those kind of things. So, and then, and that time the facilities were quite few for women. There was no specific facilities, but currently there are a lot of good good policies which are very, very employee friendly. Again, I will not say that it is for a woman or for a man. So suppose we have something like a satellite policy. So suppose a lady gets married and her husband is at some other place, and if her job is amenable, then she can shift to her husband's place and work from there. Similarly, if a man wants to take care of his sick parents, his job is amenable, he can stay with his sick parents and then take, so I'm saying these policies are there. And then there is a lot of, we have a initiative called Diversity and Inclusion, Mosaic. So we are focusing on, LGBTQ, visually person with disability. So all those kind of things. So things are changing. Yes, initially the journey was tough. There were not many facilities, but slowly, now we have 5-day work week. We have, in the pandemic, all of us were working from home. And last year, Tata Steel did very well, if you've seen the results, etc. So, there were some 30% people on the shop floor. But the general 70% of the people were, working from home. So we didn't face any problem as such. So things have really improved, and Tata Steel is a place, equal opportunity employer, and if you are up to it, if you can take up the challenge, and that has been my motto right from the beginning, that I take up challenge, because if you don't take up challenges, then you will not be able to grow. You take up challenges, believe in yourself, your skill and capability and potential, and then go ahead. Tata Steel gives ample learning opportunity and growth opportunities, and it is for the women to come forward, not ask for anything extra. Initially, it was tough, but slowly, we things also changed. The society changed, and it's now 30 years. Suddenly, I realized that I've completed 30 years in this organization. It was my first organization, and I, kind of grew in this organization. So I've gone through engineering and projects. Then I did my management from XLRI in finance and marketing. So again, I'm very thankful that very few institutions will, kind of have this. You have a full-time work, and then you go and do the management, because that was a full XLRI ZAC test that we had taken. And we did that management course. Then I got a department which was, up to my liking. It was a department which used to look after the finances of associate companies. And from there, I moved to being an executive officer to a vice president. And from there, I moved to procurement, because supply chain procurement is a very, very key department. It is the purse string of the entire company. So there I did a lot of procuring. So right from plant repair, maintenance, operation items, to services, to logistics. So had to interact with truck owners and all these people. And then I took up the challenge. This one came as I'm now currently Chief of Enterprise Risk Management.
Thanks for such an insight, ma'am, and I congratulate you on your journey. Thank
you. Thank you.
Archana now will be joining us.
Yes. Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Ma'am, my name is Archana Garge, and I am a CSE undergraduate, second year. Yes. So, ma'am, I wanted to ask you, what has been your significant achievement or a significant barrier that you have crossed, as a female lead? I mean, having been working in the manufacturing industry for over 30 years, what is one significant achievement that you might want to highlight here?
So I wouldn't say as a woman, but I think one significant achievement, it's not exactly in the manufacturing, but I think because I was in the manufacturing sector, it helped me. I won the British Council Chevening Scholarship at London School of Economics. And that is given to 12 Indians every year, only 12 Indians. And I was very blessed to be one of those that year. I did that in 2003. And all the, they take from public sector, private sector. So I think that was a very big thing. And secondly, I think coming up to this level, you know, as a lady, because I have had to continuously balance my work and my home. You know,
Yes, ma'am,
uh,
absolutely.
my family and my home. I have one son, and I've been with my son most of the time. You know, I have actually tried to bring him up such that I knew that I was like working and it was a tough schedule, but I tried to give him. Once going back, I was always with him. So a
Yes.
work-life balance, achieving that, because for me, a family is very, very important. And I've of course got a lot of support from my family, my husband, my parents, my sister, my in-laws. It's all about the network that you create. So achieving this, coming to this level is definitely a feat, because we still have very few women at a level, at a IL2 level, level two
Yes,
here.
ma'am,
So
yes.
that I'm really really proud of. Of course, having said that, there's still some miles to go because
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
yeah, still some miles
Yeah.
to go. And as a women lead, I have actually, I have never. Um, I've never faced that kind of a challenge that, I will
Mhm.
see some issues with the men subordinates and superiors or something. Maybe I'm blessed that we are part of Tatas where the values are such that,
Yes.
there's respect for every individual. So I've always had a very, very good team following, and they used to kind of look up to me for mentoring and, it's not that I've not had, somewhere where I've had to become a tough leader. I've had to
Yes.
become a tough leader. So, I have had to do that straight talk. And I believe in calling a spade because, there's no point in sugarcoating. But I think, as a woman, I think that is the strength that even when I say that, the way I will say it actually is acceptable to the uh, to the person. So
Mhm.
as such, we've really not faced challenges, but yes, you can still say that there is some way to go. The glass ceilings are not yet broken fully, because you come to a level and then to move up beyond that, there is a
Yes.
lot of toil. You have to prove yourself. You have to, and then there are very few positions where women can actually move up. If you are still in the manufacturing sector, because if you are in the IT sector, it is not a issue. But if you are in the manufacturing sector, then there is still, those less number of positions where one can actually move up. And another thing is actually the challenge is to create a good pipeline, of women leaders. Because somewhere you see a lot of women studying engineering, doing this, doing different, courses. But in the beginning, because of the family issues or whatever issues, people, they taper off. So the
Hmm.
number of women moving to the middle management and the senior management becomes lesser and lesser.
Yes, yes.
So that is
Yeah.
that is one of the key challenges.
Yes, ma'am, yes. And ma'am, I also want to ask, like, what is the difference you observe in women getting respected, or not exactly respected, but like uh, getting their opinions valued, like 10, 20 years back or now? What is the difference that you observe?
I think there's no difference. The difference 20 years back also, if you were sure about what you are saying, you just have to get the courage to stand up and say, I think it like this. And
Mhm.
people are bound to listen if whatever you're saying is backed up by data, by knowledge, and by your conviction.
Yes.
Many a times it happens that women actually are shy. They don't believe in their capability, and they don't stand up to voice what their thoughts are. Because it's a competitive world. It's same like it is for you, it is for the next gentleman also. So whoever steps up and voices their opinion, he or she gets heard. Yes. One more thing is that And I don't think that this is with men or women. If you have build your credibility, it takes long time to build your credibility. It takes a little clip for that entire thing to be, go down to zero. So if you have built that credibility, you say once, twice, thrice in meetings, and people then will start looking for you. Yes, do you have an opinion on this? And yes, we value your opinion. So it doesn't really differ with the passage of years, or it doesn't really differ with men and women. It is the person, You have to have the conviction of your own belief. You have to have a lot of knowledge and data before you can open your mouth for saying something which is really meaningful and which will add value to that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
I hope मैं ज़्यादा ज्ञानवान नहीं दे रही हूँ ना.
No, ma'am. No, it will really help us, in our life ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Now Paritosh Kumar will be joining us.
Yeah, Paritosh.
Good evening, ma'am. Yeah, good evening, ma'am. I am Paritosh. I am from NIT Patna itself. So first of all, thank you for joining. And I would like to ask you a question related to women empowerment. As you have already told a lot about how you started from scratch and how your journey went, how you managed such leadership roles at various positions. So what are your views that or you think that play a great role in women empowerment? So what are those elements actually?
So when you say women empowerment, what exactly are you asking? I mean, are you talking about what we should do for women empowerment, or what is it that you want to do? I'm not very clear. You can.
Yeah. Just like the society perspective, like what are the roles that actually play in a woman, that empowering the woman from a whole general perspective, actually.
General perspective, see, empowering a woman, women empowerment actually starts from learning. So right from childhood, the learning that is imparted to a girl child, the learning that she gets, in school, in college, in the various courses that she takes up, that actually enables her, and builds her capability to do well in her area. Most of the organizations today are equal opportunity employers. When I say equal opportunity employer, I mean that all things remaining same, it's a level playing field. It is not that you are women, so you will get something additional. You will get okay, you're women, so your numbers will be more. ऐसा तो exams also don't do. If you don't score well, be it a boy or a girl, you don't get good marks. So similarly here, if you are a woman, there's nothing additional which is coming to you, and one should not expect, but one should hone their skill. Skill is very important. One should see which are the areas where one can do well. Today I in Tata Steel, in the mining, which is Tata Steel has a lot of mines, coal and iron ore mines. We have started B shift in the mining, and girls are mining. So B shift means 2 to 10 p.m. in the night. So while the organization assures of the safety and all the regulations, so one is government is also helping that you can join anything, you can do any course, you can join anywhere, and then there is some quota also, reservations, because women are, because there are fewer number of girls in this engineering, in the STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, medicine. So that also is being done, and various policies which are inclusive. That means, when I joined Tata Steel, I can still remember some departments where there was only one washroom, and it was not written male or female. So you use that washroom, okay? But now, the mandate is that you have washrooms, you have unisex washrooms, because you may have a person who's neither neither gender. He can be anything. He or she, the person can be anything. So the policies are very favorable, and that is what creates empowerment. And you have to have the conviction in you and your potential and your skill. So we had this second shift of ladies working in the mines. Then we have, women driving very heavy earth-moving vehicles, because in the mining you have these very heavy tractors. Their tires are so huge, and we have started the women driving those tractors. So there's nothing that women cannot do. You see, right from astronaut to lady who's running an NGO in the village. You should just see. It's just that it is for the lady to come up and do it, and society and organizations are all very very conducive in today's environment. You know, so that according to me is empowerment. That you give equal level playing field, and you make sure, and then you can do whatever you want.
Thank you, ma'am. And also, you have talked about like Tata Steel. So I would like to know few policies like Tata Steel is offering for empowering the women or for the women's sector actually.
So as I said, Paritosh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, that we don't have any women-specific policies. We are equal opportunity employers. So a policy which is applicable to a women is also applicable to men. So we get maternal leave, maternity leave, when a woman has a child. So similarly, we give paternity leave also. Because, it's not the woman's child alone. There's a father
Yeah.
and a mother. So if the father is working, the father also would like to take some leave and tend to the child. Then I told you about the satellite policies. Then I told you about there are a lot of policies which are coming for say for the PWD. The inclusive policies. The PWD, so physical, the ramps for the wheelchairs, and then the washrooms where wheelchairs can go in, and then a lot of policies for the LGBTQ. Actually, we are driving that in a very big way. So these are some of the good policies, not particularly for women, but yes, the women also have, like there is a time when you can go and feed the child when the child is very small. You have to join that office where you can go and feed the child. Currently, the work from home, if you are choosing, it is work from anywhere. You know? If your superior is okay, you can take as many days as you want work from home. Then some which are very specific is we also have a menstrual leave. You know, it is it is a part of the leave application. There is a casual leave, there is a regular leave, and there is a menstrual leave. I mean, I'm very very senior to all of you. When I joined the company, I faced a lot of issues. You know, but in those days, it was very difficult for me to go to because I used to drive a two-wheeler and this is a steel plant. So there's not much of public transportation at that point in time. And we had just joined, we were newcomers. We didn't have cars, so we used to drive two-wheelers to office. And I used to have a lot of discomfort. But today, that policy is there that if you want to take 1 or 2 days leave, you can take that. And there are no questions asked. You can just apply and it will be approved. There are no questions. So these kind of things are definitely there, and I would say that Tata Steel has gone much, much beyond. It's a 100-year-old company, but the kind of policies that we have are very, very forward-looking.
Yeah, that's very nice, ma'am. And I hope I have got my answers. And thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Samriddhi will be joining us next.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good evening, Samriddhi.
My name is Samriddhi and I am a second year EC undergraduate from NIT Patna. So, ma'am, my question is, what is an advice which you would like to give to young women entering male-dominated professions? Like, what is the one thing we all need to remember before entering any such kind of industries or companies? Because I think your profession was also like male-dominated, and there are still many companies which are male-dominated. So, what is the one thing we need to remember before joining any company like that?
So the one thing which you need to remember is you are joining because it's your choice. Nobody is forcing you to join a male dominated in, because you may have a dream that I'll work in a manufacturing industry, or I work in this kind of sector, I work in that kind of sector. You are joining by choice, and the day you join, you just from that day you don't expect anything different for you. I'm a woman, I should get these privileges. No, because then you cannot kind of you cannot survive in an industry, in a corporate, anywhere in the government. If you always feel that I need something special, then it will not be possible. So you take up the challenge, and you go ahead. You believe in yourself and you go ahead. And there's no right time for a challenge. When it comes, you must take it. You cannot think that I will wait for that particular point and then I will, kind of take up that challenge. So these are two, three things which I have been my guiding points, and I would like to say that to you.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Manvi will be joining us next.
Hi, Manvi.
Manvi, your mic is muted. Unmute yourself, please.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Good evening, ma'am. Myself,
evening.
Manvi Jha from EC department, second year undergraduate. And ma'am, it's really very good to have you with us today. And your views were very amazing and inspiring. Ma'am, I would like to know, as a chairperson of CII Indian Women Network, what are your views on feminism? And what would be a message that you would like to give to women?
So when you say feminism, what exactly are you meaning? Then I can phrase my answer.
Ma'am, when I say feminism, I mean the views that you have about, about women having equal opportunities, women being equal to men, and women proving themselves in different fields and not being discriminated against. That in general is what I mean by feminism.
So as a part of, again, I'm very thankful to Tadipil that, because these are voluntary jobs. So besides my job, I was given the role of being the chairperson of the CII Indian Women Network Jharkhand chapter. It gave me opportunity to work with a lot of Tata and non-Tata organizations across Jharkhand, and it's definitely it's a new experience. And I see girls very, very determined. I see the ladies who are working in the organization very determined to do well. And the only thing which is, I would say, is there will be no discrimination. I cannot say that there will be no discrimination. But you have to take up the challenge if you have the skill and the capability. So the most important thing is develop the skill and the capability of your inherent potential can be brought to light by developing the skill. Self-learning, continuous self-learning can develop your skill and capability. And once you have the skill and capability, there is no stopping. There is nobody actually stops. In fact, people welcome. I've seen a lot of CHROs, the human resource organizations. Think they are women. Good positions. I mean, all good positions we have seen. Now we have women at board also. So many women go to the board. So it is their knowledge, their skill, their ability to ability to place your views in a coherent manner, such that it is kind of taken given value. So that is it. Actually, we did a program as part of the CII, Indian Women Network, where we brought in the rural village ladies. You should see the kind of empowerment these ladies have. They just don't care. I mean, about discrimination. It is their will to win which actually takes them forward. It was the program was called Kaleidoscope, and we got acid attack survivors. We got sarpanches of villages who are women, who's like the family is a drunkard family, and she tried to stop people from drinking, and she was like manhandled. She was beaten up, but it didn't deter her. So those stories are so powerful. If you see the rural women, so we are urban women. We have the education, we have the the knowledge. So it is just that our inner will to win and accept the challenge and move ahead actually is feminism for me.
That was very enlightening, ma'am. Definitely, skill and willpower is one thing that moves us forward. And, ma'am, as an alumni of our institute, what would be a message that you would want to give to your alma mater, or maybe girls in general? A message from your side.
So, message from my side is this institution is a very, very old institution. I think 1930s, this institution came into it had started this civil. It's a very, very old institution, and I went for the reunion and I saw the lovely buildings and all. So, take advantage. It's a very good library, huge library. Take advantage, read. The professors are very knowledgeable, and make use of the network. One thing which women actually don't do much is networking. If you create those friendships, those bonds today, you never know with boys, with girls, with professors, you never know what link works at a later stage. So keep that networking, and respect the alma mater, respect the institution from where you come, and be proud of the institution. Because you have come here, each one of you have come here after passing the All India examination, All India competition, and I think NIT Patna is ranked very, very high. You have to be within the first 15, 20,000 to get into this esteemed institution. So you have done a lot of hard work to come here. During these 4 years, you must do a lot of hard work, and you must go out and shine so that your alma mater is enriched with people like you. Create networks. Relationships are very important, especially for women. The relationships that you create actually help you create a support system in your later stages. Many a time, my son, I had to leave alone when I was traveling. It was my support system which took care of my family, my sister, my in-laws, my husband. So build your relationship, and then sky's the limit. Just take up the challenge and choose to challenge. Just choose to challenge. The theme for this year's Women's Day is so apt and so close to my heart. Just choose to challenge, and sky is the limit.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very much enlightening.
Thank you.
Following this question, we have come to the end of the interaction come interview, I must say. And ma'am, I must say that your hard work and determination sets an example for every aspiring student, not in NIT Patna. I feel every student should be inspired by your journey, your stories. And I thank you on behalf of the entire Alumni SL team to come here and be a part of the interview and interaction, be a part of just be here and answering those questions. It just made me feel I'm personally very inspired right now, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I also learned a lot from youngsters like you. It's always a two-way learning. Okay. So, Prasun, if you want a small
I
biodata,
hope you get the best of health and success. And sorry, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If you want a small picture and a biodata, I can mail it to you in
Yes,
your.
ma'am. I was going to ask you, because we'll be now drafting the whole interview into a written format, and then we'll be posting it on our social media. So I was wondering if you have some, maybe receiving an award, a photo like that, or just pictures from even in the college time, or a few pictures of yours. We could just place it in those.
Okay. So I will send you my the official picture and the biodata in the mail. And those pictures, let me locate. I have some pictures from the NIT Patna reunion and college days also. So I can send you a couple of my pictures from that. Yes, so I will
That would
send
be
you on
great.
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, so much for being here. Hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you
The
so
day
much.
is
Thank
almost
you,
over,
girls
but
and guys. Yeah, thank you to my alma mater.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, and God bless you all. Bye.
bye, ma'am.